Welcome to the COVID-19 conversations. I'm Mitch Krujna, and today I would like to welcome Maryam Kamangar and Jean Haywood of Goodwill Industries of the Berkshires and Southern Vermont. Welcome, Maryam, and welcome, Jean.
Hi, Mitch. How are you?
Good, thank you. And could you tell us each what you do for the Goodwill Industries?
Sure. I am the Director of Community Development for Goodwill. I've been with Goodwill for 6 years. I actually started 6 years ago volunteering, and then after that I took a position as a manager of community development, and then I'm the director now. Goodwill Industries of the Berkshires on Southern Vermont, that means it belongs to a territory, which is our stores coming from Great Barrington in Southern Berkshire, and it goes all the way to Rutland, which is Southern Vermont. So every Goodwill has their own territory, which means that all the donation has to come in from the place that all the towns are in our territory. So somebody cannot call me from New York, for example, and say, come and pick up my stuff, because that belongs to that territory. So this way, the donation that comes in, it will create job training, employment, and recycling for that territory. We set up our stores. Right now we have 6 stores, and we also have a job training warehouse in Pittsfield. So 7 locations that we have, it's in this territory. So all the donation comes in, they all get processed by the employees from this territory, and then it will get to the stores, they will be sold, and all the money gets back to this territory, paying payroll, the leases, everything else that is involved for job training and all of that. So that's what the territory means. Okay. So everything stays here. Nothing goes out anywhere else.
Okay. And Jean, could you tell us your role for the Goodwill Industries in the area?
Well, as human resources, I take care of the different things that are available for employees, but health and safety is the larger part of my job. I take care, at least now, when you're talking about coming back from the virus, the COVID virus, washing your hands, sanitizing the clothes, making sure that when you purchase something from Goodwill, it's been sanitized, it's been quarantined, it's all the things that the federal government as well as our state government has made requirements that we do. 6 feet apart, so many people could be in the store at one time. You have to sometimes wait outside for someone to leave before you can come in. You know, these are all brand new rules, and it's sometimes very frustrating for a purchaser or even for an employee to wear a mask. You know, when do you go outside to take that mask off and breathe some fresh air? Because you shouldn't wear it too long, because now you're breathing carbon dioxide, which isn't good.
Right.
Because we make carbon dioxide. That's why
Yes.
we live in the Berkshires. We want to be with the trees.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I see people driving with their masks on, and I was like, you're gonna pass out.
That's scary.
That
is
is
very
they should
scary.
not do that, because they can pass out while driving, and that is not a good thing.
Now the passengers may have their masks on because maybe they should, but the driver should not have their mask on because they could get asphyxiated from their own breathing.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a person in New Jersey who passed out and crashed with their car because they had the mask on.
Yes.
Yes, we've heard about that, and there's so many procedures and rules that we have to follow that we really never thought about, and we took everything for granted. Like, for example, if you have 20 people and they're going to go if you're going to go and get water, you know, from refrigerator, there is a whole procedure after COVID-19. Before, it just you go and get your food and get your drink and that's it. Now for every single thing, we had to write procedures and all the steps, and everybody has to follow. We had to create signs for everything.
Wow.
Now everything, when you walk through, is one way. You can't be passing each other. I mean, this is quite an experience that we, that we have been facing. We closed all of our stores at the end of March, like March 23rd. And actually, our Vermont stores opened up 2 weeks earlier than we did in Massachusetts. So we opened them like almost a month ago. But then all of these procedures and training all the staff to go and do all of that, and then coming to the stores the minute they told us we could do it, and then create all of these steps to make sure that the staff feel comfortable, the customers feel comfortable, because if the customer doesn't feel comfortable, they don't come in, they don't buy, and they don't give donation. And it doesn't matter if our store is open. If we cannot sell, if we don't get donation, might as well close. So there were so many steps that Jean and all of our directors with our CEO, the HR department, we put everything together to make sure that we follow every single step.
The sanitizing is the big thing.
Yes.
To get all the things that are normally constantly being touched, you've got to sanitize. One of the things that we do at the store, because it's hard to get people to not touch this item that they want to buy, whether it's a piece of clothing or shoes or a salt and pepper shaker. I mean, people want to touch. We're touchers. Now, when the store closes, everything has to be sanitized, and then everyone goes home.
Yes.
So there's another procedure that is making everything safe for everybody.
Yep.
And not only the bathroom facilities, if you have a bathroom facility open to the public, even if it's just for your employees, those facilities have to be sanitized
every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours to make sure that there isn't any transference of disease.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, how many people are you employed, across the area?
In our territory, we have about 129.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it can go as high as 150.
Yep.
All depending upon the time. We have some seasonal employees.
Did you have to hire more people because of all the sanitizing and everything, or you?
In some instances, we've had to hire more people just to do the sanitizing, and they're doing processing / custodial. They're being hired to do that. In some instances, there's a person at the store already hired who's been trained in custodial work in the previous existence, and they will take over that responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
we also had to create a person as a greeter. So with the sign, with disinfectant wipes and all of that, because and her job is to make sure that she counts how many people are at the store, because we have the carts. So all the carts have to be sanitized. We have all the signs. They have to make sure everybody follow the same rules and everything. So these were the things that we didn't have before, but now we have to have it to make sure that the customers follow the same thing according to the state regulation.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So back in March, was it 23rd that you got the notice? Was it from the Goodwill Industries, or was it from the states, or did you?
No, it was from our own gut feeling that this is a situation, and it's in the middle of the flu season too. So our CEO and our board of directors decided to close the stores.
Yeah, because people were not coming in anymore. They were too scared, So it was just the beginning. So it started a week or two before, and we still kept it open. But then there's no point having a store when nobody comes So we kept it open for 2 to 3 weeks, and then after that, we all decided that for the safety of the staff, and we need to just stay in, and many of us worked from home, and until we heard from the governor, and we just, as I said, opened up Vermont almost a month, and Massachusetts was 2 weeks ago. So we did those things, and then we also opened up our ADCs, which means attendant donation centers, and we have 3 of them right now. One is in Williamstown, so every the first 3 Sundays of the month, the truck goes there because we do not have any store there. So the truck parks there from 10 in the morning until 2 o'clock. So people who are in Williamstown, if they don't want to drive to Bennington, or if they don't want to drive to North Adams, they can donate their stuff there. We also opened up another one, which is in Lenox. So the Lenox Center. And so anybody lives in the Lee area or Lenox, because our store in Lee is very, very small. And if people have big items like furniture and all that, it's better for them to take it to the truck. So every Saturday we're there from 1 to 5 at the Lenox Center. And then we have another one we actually opened up last weekend, and that is in Vermont, which is Manchester. We actually have our truck park at the Berkshire Bank parking lot, and we're there Saturday and Sunday. So Saturdays we're there from 1 o'clock after the bank closes until 6 o'clock, and then Sunday the bank is not there, the employees, so we use the parking lot, and we are there from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So this way it creates jobs for our truck driver, and at the same time we don't have to open up a store. We just can have the truck and people can bring their donations. Manchester, we do not have any store. Lenox, the same thing, and also in Williamstown. And this way, this will give us a chance to look at and see if these locations would be a good location later on if we wanted to open up a store. We did the same thing in Great Barrington. For 10 years almost, we parked at the Berkshire Bank parking lot in 2 different locations actually. And finally, after 10 years, so it's been a couple of years now that we are at the Sears building. We just rented that, and we're doing, it's 5,600 square feet or so. So it's a much bigger building, and it's right by the street, and we have plenty of parking lot. So things like that we do to make sure that it is a good location so we can lease that building. All of our stores are leased, which gives back to the community, because when you lease a building, you are giving rent to a landlord, you are paying taxes, we're paying for utilities, water, gas, electric, all of that. So at the same time that we get donations from people and we create jobs by having employees, we also give back to the town. And not to mention, all of the items that comes to us as donation, we recycle them at the end, because not everything gets sold. Last year alone in 2019, we recycled over 2 million pounds of donation away from the landfills in our territory. So imagine every town that they have landfills, they took an advantage of 2 million pounds not to go to their landfills. So all around, it's a win-win situation for everybody, for customers, for us, for employees, and the town for the landfill.
Okay. So you were talking about you didn't close completely, or did you close completely, or did you have furloughs, or did you have people? You said you had some people working from home.
Yeah.
Can you give a little more on that, or?
Well, the thing is that somebody like myself, human resources, I had to be still working, and I worked from home because I was there for people who were filing for unemployment.
Yep.
And I had to make sure that when the unemployment department contacted me for a wage verification, I had to be ready to supply that wage verification right away. There could be no wait, because these people were waiting for their unemployment check.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we also applied for the PPP, so that was few weeks until we got that. So the PPP gave us a chance to hire everybody back again, and they were on it. So they got the job training through phone calls and Zoom and everything. But at the same time, a few of us that we had to do all these steps for the procedures, we had to put everything together. Plus the HR had to do all the verifications and all that. So we have been busy from March 23rd all the way until we opened up almost a month ago in Vermont. Yeah. And all of our staff are back to work. And thank God we got the PPP, and that was a blessing. So everybody's happy to be back, but we're just waiting for the governors, both from Vermont and Massachusetts, because they're two different states, to tell us when we can have more staff coming in. So now we take turns. So for example, I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the warehouse because we go with the numbers. And then Tuesday, Thursday, I have to work from home. So we have to look at all of that. Hopefully sooner than later, we will have more staff according to what the state tells us, that we can bring in more staff. So, and that's what we will do.
Yeah.
We're all waiting.
Yeah. Everybody is.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, before March, I brought some furniture down to the Lenox location of the truck, and it was very convenient for us to bring things.
Big items.
Big, yeah. And it was like, well, I could try to sell it on, you know, but it's like I can still get like a tax, you know,
Deductible.
the tax deductible. Yes.
Yes.
Tax deductible.
Tax deductible. Yeah.
You get a slip, and it's just right down the road from me, and it's so easy. So you take furniture. What else do you accept?
We do take furniture, and we have our driver. They're all trained to let you know what kind of a furniture. For example, if you give us a furniture that has a hole, has a rip, it's stained and all of that, in reality, we really cannot sell that to a customer, okay? Nobody's gonna buy that. And what's gonna happen is if we take it from you, we have to throw it away. So we really do not accept that. We only accept, especially big items like furniture, because furniture I cannot recycle. Everything else, through textiles, you know, hats, purses, shoes, books, everything can be baled at the end when we can recycle. The 2 million that I mentioned that before, 2 million pounds, those are the items that we can recycle. Furniture, I cannot send it overseas. You know, it doesn't work like that. So I have to throw it away. And we always very nicely tell the customers, please, you got to bring something to us as furniture that we're able to sell. Sometimes even customers bring or ask if we can take something, and it's very, very heavy. And a lot of people do not buy items that are very, very heavy, you know, the armoires and things like that, or desks, you know. So we have to very nicely tell the customers, if I cannot sell it, I have to throw it away. So we always tell them to give it to a church or somebody who's in need, maybe immigration center. There are possibilities that they can, you know, give their furniture that we really cannot take. But besides that, we take almost everything. Some stuff we can't, for example, we can't take mattresses, you know, mattress box, none of that, because we are pillows. We are with the license with the health department, so we cannot really clean any of those because of the bed bugs and all that. So we cannot sell those, so we cannot accept them. We always have a list of what we can accept, and it's actually at our website, goodwillberkshires.org, www.goodwillberkshires.org, so people can get on that. We also have it at our warehouse job training that we hand it to people so they can go through their list and see what they can bring and what they cannot bring.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, and no TVs or stereos or anything like that?
We used to have, well, we used to have TVs bringing in because we could recycle them. We had a middleman who would do that for us because TVs they have mercury in them. So we really cannot take it apart. So we had to give it to another organization who will deal with that in the right way. So it's going to be so expensive that we don't do TVs anymore.
Okay.
But, and that's in the state of Massachusetts. But in state of Vermont, TVs and computers, they get recycled through the state. So anybody who lives in Vermont, they can do it. So in Massachusetts, we do recycle our computers through Dell Reconnect. And that they can bring any kind of a computer, any parts of the computers, it doesn't matter how old it is, we will take it and it is for free. We do not charge them because we have a partnership with Dell Reconnect. Unfortunately, in Massachusetts, we cannot recycle TVs, but in Bennington and in Rutland, they can drop them off and everything gets done through the state.
And here in Massachusetts, well, here in Berkshire County, you can bring your old TVs to the Lennox Recycling Center.
Oh.
And for a small fee,
Yep.
depending on the size of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
they measure it, and you can pay the fee, and you can just dispose of your old TV.
Yep.
It's very convenient. I've taken my stuff down there too, and it's just very convenient.
Okay.
They also will take oil lamps, which we can't take.
Okay.
These are the kind that you have a wick and
Mhm.
they burn
Yep.
the fire. We can't sell those, but they take them down there at the Lennox.
Yes. A lot of townships also during summer, they have special dates that you can bring all your, you know, like refrigerators and ovens and all of this stuff and the TVs and everything, computers and all that. So people can go back to their townships and they do it on a special Saturday or Sunday and all that. And there may be some small fees for it. Unfortunately, in Massachusetts, we don't do TVs, but we still do it in Vermont.
So you still take computers and cables and
Every part of a computer, yes.
Oh,
It
that's
doesn't
really
matter
good to
how
know.
old it is.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. We have a partnership with Dell Reconnect, and we will do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we just wanted to make sure that everybody knows we're open and we're taking donations. So some people do not know that because a lot of places, they're still not open, but we are open and our staff back to work and we're taking donations and we have already started 3 ADCs and we are in process of opening up another store after all this craziness. We're thinking of in Vermont, in Burlington, not Burlington, I'm sorry, in Brattleboro. Burlington is not our territory. So in Brattleboro, we're thinking of opening one. So little by little, the more we open stores, the more staff we will hire, which will add to our employment. And we'll give more donations that goes away from the landfill. And also we have a lot of job training. So it's all like a circle. You know, you bring the donation, it gets sold, and it goes back to the store and to the employees for their payroll.
Yeah, it was sad. I go down to Great Barrington quite often, and I saw Sears close, and I was like, sad.
Oh, I know.
But then I was happy because Goodwill Industries moved in, and it was like, oh, that's a good thing out of a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the stores are great, and you find some real cool things.
Yeah, finding a store that it's right by the road, it has enough parking lot, you know, and as a director of community development, my job is to see if people are donating, if people are shopping, you know, what is their attitude about Goodwill and all that. So that's why we bring our trucks for places that we don't have any store, so we can, you know, look at it and see down the road if we can open up a store. But you know, it took us a long time because there were not that many spaces available with the sizes. The first GB Great Barrington store we had, it was like 2,500. You know, 500 was the second level, and 2,000, which we were using it as a storage, and then 2,000 was the floor, and it was pretty small. And we knew it, but then again, that was the only thing we could get at that time. And the minute that Sears opened, right away we jumped on it because now it's 5,600 square feet of space, and we have a huge processing room. Actually, the processing room of Great Barrington store right now is bigger than what the store was. in the first location, and that's just the processing room. So it makes a very big difference. So we hired more staff, and it just adds up. Exactly. But we always looking for locations, and we just have to find it, the right match, the right place, and all of that.
Well, that's encouraging. We're glad things are starting to open up again. We remember to be careful, and how, because we still have to be careful. We can't just take it for granted. Oh, they're opening, so everything is back to, we have to still be cautious and careful. And
Absolutely.
it sounds like you're really diligent in taking the right steps to make it safe for you and for the customer and employees.
Yep.
And, it's
yeah,
great.
because if employees don't feel safe, they're not going to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to really do everything to make sure that everybody, and at the same time, our brain, you get used to doing things the same way you used to do before. Now you got to train yourself to do everything differently. So we had to provide a lot of job training. Jean is absolutely great, and she goes store to store. All of that had to be done. So it's a different way of doing things. It's a new normal. We will never go back to what it was until we have, things are changed. But right now, for, I don't know, next up to next year or maybe more, it all depends to the state, what they tell us, state of Massachusetts and Vermont. We just have to follow and make sure that everybody feels safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
But could you give us that website address again? And do you have a Facebook page that you have?
Yeah, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have Twitter on our web. Yes, and it's a www.goodwillberkshires.org.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
There's a dash in between.
Yeah, Goodwill-Berkshires, exactly, .org.
Okay.
Thank you, Jean.
Well, thank you, Jean and Maryam, for joining us. And it was a very informative session here today. And maybe we can check back that few weeks down the road and see how things are going.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we will also have our Director of Mission Services. She'll be calling you later on, talking about, because as I said, we're getting everybody on board. We're doing the Zoom meetings and everything, because we cannot sit in front of people and have 15, 20 people for job training. So we have to do creative things of Zoom meetings. So she will call you and we'll talk about her programs. Okay,
great. Thanks again for joining us, and we thank our viewers for joining us. And Mitch Kruzna from CTSB TV, have a good day.
Yes,
Thank you. Bye-bye.